1, 2, 3, go.
Waiting for my favorite day of the week. I'm in the sun, but no one sees me. I see, I feel everything around me, while the rest of the world just watches TV. And all I have is enough to get by. Who needs weekends with Thursday on your side? Why can't we both forgive and try a new way? We can both live life like every day is Thursday. And I have enough to get by. Now who needs weekends when Thursday's on your side? And we laugh, and we cry, we hold each other every night. Take a chance, and we can try to live Thursday every single night. And all I have is enough to get by. Who needs weekends when Thursday's on your side?
Namaste, salutations, greetings, and of course, good vibes. It's Thursday, it's 9 o'clock, and it's Thursday Night Vibes with Master Rochi and Caitlin, the talent. How are you doing, Caitlin, the talent?
Fuck off.
How you doing?
I'm peachy keen.
I see that that somebody allowed you to dress yourself tonight.
I just stumbled upon these items along the side of the road and I thought they were fitting.
Ah,
Yes.
I don't know. They look awfully familiar.
I don't think so. I just
No,
found them on the side.
Of course.
Like I said, I just found them on the side of the road and I thought they looked cool, so I put them on.
It's pretty dirty.
I don't believe a word you're saying, but if that's how you're feeling, how are you feeling? What is your disposition this evening?
Peachy keen.
Right on, right on. Well, that is good. Now, I want to go back to last week.
Why?
And well, because people probably don't understand what you were digging for the whole time. She was trying to locate a package of spam.
That was so many weeks ago.
Well, anyway,
Where have you been?
I took a trip through the 70s and I've never returned.
You were here last week. You just weren't here last week.
Well, anyway, I had taken it and they all said I should have showed it to you why she was digging for it. I remember last week. In fact, I don't think we ever finished what your topic.
No, we finished it.
So
it's
do you
dead.
have any more information on cannabis jobs or
beating
careers?
a dead horse. Journalists.
Well, do you?
Writers.
Well, let's get into
No, fuck
some of
off.
these positions more deeply. You see, I asked Kate Land, the talent, when she came in tonight, what her topics were, and she said, after last week, I don't have any. So I thought that meant she really wanted to continue what she was working on last week.
No,
You should have told me this ahead of time.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Why not?
I'm greatly disappointed. Hey, we have a
Go back
great
to the water drinking thing.
we have a great show tonight. We have Steve Kravetz. He has written 3 books. The man is incredibly interesting. We are so fortunate to have him on the show. I think you're going to really, really dig this interview. And if you get a chance, read his book. I am reading it. I have not completed it yet. But man, I tell you, it's a great read, and I can't wait to read his other 2. So that's going to be great. And the music guest tonight is going to be Desi and Cody, and they're kind of an indie rock band. You are going to dig this duo, and not only are they musically a duo, but they are a duo in matrimony too. So it's the husband and wife team. Desi's vocals are just incredible. Cody's guitar playing, you're going to dig it. So, we've got a good show tonight.
Right on.
Right on.
What's up?
You're just so full of information tonight.
You killed me last week.
I
was dying and you
I
just let
did
me
not.
die.
I did not. As the talent, you should be able to, just pick up and run with it.
You gonna talk about cats or animated cartoons or sci-fi? I'm your woman, but you just let me die.
Oh, I don't understand any of those topics.
They're the best ones.
And none of them whatsoever.
Cats and sci-fi and animated cartoons.
Now,
Small
if we
shit.
could do like a sci-fi cat thing, now that I would be interested in. Cat Trek.
Cat Trek.
Cat Trek.
Cat Wars.
Yeah, Cat Wars. That's like a Saturday night.
Cat
Every
Wars.
night.
Yeah.
Cat Wars, the Clone
Let
Wars.
the feral cats get into it. So anything interesting with you this week?
I worked one day and then all week I'm on vacation. I worked Tuesday and then I was off yesterday. My washer continues to try to jump through the wall. So that's nice of it to do that.
Yes.
I need a new washer even though I just bought that one. I just have the worst luck with appliances.
Yes.
You're a little close there, buddy.
Believe me. I don't want to get that close. Anyway, you know what? I think it's time to say who sponsors this show. You have no idea.
Master Rochi's Garden!
Pardon me?
Shush! Master Rochi's Garden sponsors this show. This is the Golden Medley, our CBD blend. Excellent. And then also there's beard oil, which my lovely assistant here, lovely, is holding for you. And I hold as well. Yes. You can find all these products and much more at MasterRochi'sGarden.com.
MasterRochi'sGarden.com, Mr. CBD of Chicago, and Amazon. Our tinctures are on Mr. CBD of Chicago. Our beard oil is on Amazon. So check them both out, and you can find them on our website at, again,
MasterRochi'sGarden.com.
Very good. So I'll tell you what.
Waylon, hit us with that interview, boy.
Okay.
The Highway Axe Murderer. Photos coming soon.
Very soon.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, we are so lucky. We've got a beautiful man, and I tell you, you're going to love Steve Kravetz. Steve, thank you so very much for taking time and coming on the show. I apologize to you. I didn't make it all the way through the Marijuana Man, but what I have gotten through has been just absolutely incredible. Uh, why don't you kind of introduce and tell tell our audience about yourself?
Well, I'm from Dallas, Texas area. Grew up in Dallas. Currently live in a little town northeast on the lake Ray Hubbard called Rockwall. I've been out here in the area since '78. Kind of got the country life, and but close enough to the city to do what you need to do. I have been a storyteller for as long as I can remember. Never even realized it till many, many years in my life, but as a child, I always seemed to have a story going along in my mind. If we were talking in class, for example, about Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, well, while the teacher's rattling on about this, that, and the other, my mind's eyes are already going out to the Mississippi River, and I can see some guys hanging out on a log raft, fishing with one guy and the other guy handling the paddle.
Right on.
My storylines were never about me. I was never in the stories. It wasn't a fantasy that I was going through. But these were just stories that were just constantly in my mind. Never even thought about it. But I began using it after I got out of college. Stories and tales and different things that I made up when dealing with different clients and different businesses that I had been involved in. You know, you go into a client's house and maybe you saw stuffed fish on the wall. Well, I'd have some fantastic story about a giant fish that I caught with my hands noodling in Oklahoma or something. Just start the conversation up, and before you know it, you're talking about what you came to do in the first place. But back in 1994, I had seen an ad in the Dallas Morning News about they were looking for short stories, tall tales of Texas short stories, or the Texas Liars Contest for the State Fair of Texas. And I thought, I got a couple of tales that probably would fit that. So I took for the first time and wrote them down. Sent them in, and lo and behold, I got a first place on one and an honorable mention on the second.
Wow, not bad.
That was the first time that I had ever written anything down, and it never occurred to me up until that time to take the stories that I tell and written them down. I have lived all types of places and done all kinds of work over the years. I was in the steel supply and pipe and scrap metal and steel fab business for 20 years. I was in the swimming pool design and building business for 16 years. I've sold cars and pretty much just about everything else in between. But always the storytelling seemed to be one of the opening lines for me. And my wife and I had been married 28 years before she passed. And I had an idea for a book back in 1983. And as a lot of writers will tell you, they don't necessarily start writing just because they get an idea. A lot of times they'll work out the storyline and the characters and all this, that, and the other, even before they sit down. In my case, it started in 1983, but it wasn't until 2010 that I actually sat down and started putting words to paper. And
which book was
Word
this?
to Paper became the book that I have today. It's called A Marijuana Man, A Dealer's Diary.
Right
And
on.
it is basically a coming of age story of two interesting characters. One is Max Gold, who's just graduating high school and going off to college, testing his wings of independence. And good old Max makes a trip to Austin, Texas a couple of weeks before he starts off to college, and an older cousin turns him on to marijuana. And thus begins a lifetime connection of Max Gold and marijuana. But
Yeah.
the second character in this book is one that's kind of a hidden character, and it's actually the United States of America. It's the coming of age, the age of the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, the age when men were walking on the moon, and Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy and Bob Kennedy, all these guys are killed.
Right.
We're talking about Haight-Ashbury on the West Coast, and we're talking about Woodstock on the East Coast. So much was happening during these years. So America, too, was going through, and America is kind of a character in the book as well.
Oh, I remember a lot of the news stories, Kennedy's assassination, Kent State, the tower shooting there,
Absolutely.
and Whitman. So yeah, I remember all that. But now you're saying that none of this is a lot of fiction, but man, I've been in some of those situations, and it seems too well written to be not.
Let me say this: half of the book is 100% fiction.
Right.
Half of the book is true, not by my standards. In other words, I am the writer of the book. I am the author, so they are my words, but they are not my actions. These stories that make up Max's trip through the 60s, 70s, 80s are stories as actual dealers who actually did these deeds. So I kind of combined some actual guys doing what the actual guys did with reality of what was going on during the times, and added a little bit of fantasy to spark the action and whatnot. I guarantee you, you sit down with me and we're sitting there toe to toe, you couldn't tell me which is true and which is false.
No, I couldn't, but I could tell you I have been in some very similar situations and know exactly how young Max was feeling a few times.
It's an interesting thing. I have been to Willie Nelson's Puff and Putt out of Austin for normal a couple times and whatnot. Been to different venues in Santa Fe for a 2-day 420 event, different places throughout the country. And the one thing I noted time and time again, somebody's going to say, "Hey, this is my uncle's in here," or that's my buddy Brad. I recognize this guy.
Right. But it's funny because I was thinking as I was reading, a lot of the mishaps that Max has, we all had similar encounters and mishaps and close calls and all. So yeah, I mean it's I'm finding it very realistic and I could see that happening, sure. So
I tried to catch the taste of the times, and so that those of us who were there and those of them who weren't but wanted to have been there to get that feel of the day and the times, read the book and the journey's there.
Right.
Fortunately, I have this book on paperback form. I have this book in an ebook form, and you can go to Amazon and get it in an audio form as well.
Fantastic. One of the other interesting things that I saw is Max kind of had rules that he and I have the similar thing. I've had the similar thing. I had laws and rules. that I live by. Rules I could break and have minor inconveniences and issues. Laws, you break those and you're in trouble. And,
You know,
and my,
the 3 or 4 different dealers that I had interacted with and whatnot, 3 out of the 4 had, not knowing each other or anything else, had their own set of rules and guidelines in order to stay in business as long as they did. And it's crazy enough as it is, it's usually a freak accident. You know, you've got a truckload of product, you're coming down the 635 and your truck breaks down right in the middle of the freeway.
Yep. It's the stuff that you can't control that comes back and bites you in the ass.
Yep, you can only control so much.
Right. My first law was, if it feels sketchy, it probably is.
Absolutely. As in the book, you know, Max learned to live by his gut instinct and his body feelings and what they were telling him. Unfortunately, it was only when he dismissed them that he finally got popped, not once, but on 2 different occasions.
Right. Well, the first time it kind of benefited him.
Well, yeah, but that's only because he was ballsy enough to stand up to the man and make the deal.
Right. And that took a huge amount of balls for him to do that. So yeah, man, I am, like I said, I'm not all the way through, but I am digging the book, Steve. Now, I'm loving it. I am loving it. We're going to take a short break and have Waylon play some tunes for us. And then we'll be right back because there's a lot more stuff that I know that we want to talk about. Tonight's musical guest, is Desi Cody from Stereo Bus Productions. Sent them to us. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. Waylon, why don't you cue Desi and Cody up, and we will be right back. Now,
Child running wild
Hey, welcome back. That was Desi and Cody. Man, I'm digging their music. Uh, good times. We're back with Steve Kravetz. His newest book coming out, The Marijuana Man: A Dealer's Story. I'm telling you, especially for the people that have been back in the day, this is going to make you chuckle. It's going to make you nod your head. And a few times you're going to say, where in the hell was he standing to see that go down? Steve's done a wonderful job on this book. Namaste, my friend. I'm loving it. So, what else do you have coming out for us?
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, because of COVID, I was shuttered in the house pretty much the whole 2 years. And rather than do nothing, I took the opportunity to put out a couple of other projects that I had in mind. One of them is a novel that is called The Bastardo. It's a mafia piece, but different than any other mafia piece that you've ever encountered. It's 1850s Sicily, and it gives you kind of a background idea of what was the politics that brought about the mafia, what was the economy that brought about the mafia, what was the one item that brought the mafia about and whatnot. And in this case, it was a lemon. The lemon, the little spicy lemon that grows on trees. Every navy, every sailing vessel in the Mediterranean and thereabouts needed lemons. And at the time, the only place there were lemons to be had was in Sicily. Also at the time, the royalty were having disbanded, were no longer in power. And so the large estates in Sicily, which were mostly owned by either the church or folks that lived off the island, lived in Italy or France or wherever and whatnot. So because there was nothing to prevent outlaws to do whatever outlaws do in those days to make money, they had to hire private armies. And those private armies indirectly eventually got into the lemon business and took control of the lemon business, and then took control over things that had spread out. And the story real line is a little different. It's about a man who had a small operation. He had at one time a larger operation, but his father was a finagler and a gambler, and pretty much lost most of the family's obligations and whatnot. And in order to save the family, the father had put his son on the market as a husband to wealthier families. And one of the wealthier families agreed to front additional monies back to the family as a dowry for the daughter if they could get married promptly. And with did. And part of the obligation is that when the first son became 21 years old, he and his twin cousins would take over the family operation. So for 21 years, the Don did everything he could to enhance the business, which he did. The Don had a brother who his family handled the trading portion of the operation. So everything that the family grew, the brother and his sons traded it in the trading business, and they oversaw the financial end of the business. Well, the Don sees the coming, and he realizes that his son is not strong enough really to handle the scenario, and the two cousins are werewolf nuts. So he decides that the only way he can possibly win his family and save his family is to create a master son, a master breed, and he breeds himself with a mountain woman whose mountain family basic business is assassination. So they were tin men by trade and assassins by night. And so he brings about a child, and the child is found kind of like Moses on a front gate in a picker's basket and taken in as a newborn. And the story goes on, and he's trained to be a superstar, so to speak. And at 13, he's in the Sicilian army, fighting the Austrians for the independence of Italy. So the storyline is progresses, and it's a pretty interesting storyline, and kind of give you the feel of Sicily of those days. Most recent of the work that I've done is a work of love. My wife, 28 years, who has since passed, and I worked dog rescue for over 10 years. And we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dogs that came through the rescue over the years. So I wrote a little book called The Tale of the Tales. Every rescue dog has a story. And that's kind of a book about rescue dogs, and each one of them had a story. And there are a lot of humorous stories that came across with the dogs. I'll give you an example. I had a dog named Saki, and we had an operation in the Dallas area, but we also had an operation down in the Houston area. And we often would swap dogs, at least a couple times a month. Well, Saki had been found running around Houston for 2 weeks, and they couldn't catch him. He had a rope around his neck. When they finally caught him, his nails were so bad that they curled up into his pads, and he was all scuffy. Well, they cleaned him all up, but he was a biter and a snarler and this, that, and the other. He was a beautiful white dog with a white little brown patch. He was a full-blooded Lhasa Apso with the biggest canines I've ever seen, about 1.25 inches each one of them. For a little dog, sure. Anyway, we swapped out, and Saki came to live with us for till we could find a home. And sure, lo and behold, he hadn't been in the house very long, and he snapped at me, and I grabbed him by the scuff of the neck and lifted him up, shook him around a little bit, and put him back down on the ground. Well, he didn't know what to think of that. Week went by, and he tried it again, and it happened again, and I shook him, and after that, there was never a problem. At that time, we had a couple, 3 or 4 other dogs, and he fit in perfectly. The holidays came along and whatnot, and my wife bought the dogs, each one of them something. And she bought Saki at that year a Tickle Me Elmo. And that dog loved that. I mean, you could hear the thing all half the day long going. Well, the next year, she got him some Care Bears. And in the middle of the night, she would hear, "I love you. You're my best friend. Let's go outside and play." So that was Saki. But he turned out to be a phenomenal dog. When we would go to dog shows as a 501c to solicit it and bring some of our dogs over for possible adoption scenarios, he was the first one out in the runway bringing people in, and he was just a phenomenally loving dog. But there were lots and lots of dogs that came through, lots and lots of stories. There's some pictures in the book, and most importantly, I have decided that a big portion of the profits for each book I'm going to send to a 501c, depending on what part of the country the book's buyer buys is from and whatnot. I'm going to try to find somebody in that area to send that donation to. So not only are you helping me, and not only are you helping enjoying yourselves and enjoying the fun and happiness of the book, kids love it, adults have loved it. You give an opportunity to give back to the community, and I like it.
And we're always looking for positive and good news stories and reads and music, and yeah, we'll definitely definitely continue talking about that book and the Marijuana Man going forward. All of our animals are rescues, and we were kind of talking. It's a second chance for them to get their forever home. And we have some damages with them, but again, they've all turned out to be absolutely wonderful animals.
Absolutely. You can buy any of my books at Amazon. You can go online to the Barnes and Nobles, etc. If you want to if you want to go on my site, which is Arthur, ATHUOR, Steve, STEV, Kravetz, KRAV like in Victor, ETZ.com. You can all the books are available there. I've got a line of T-shirts with the Marijuana Man scenario, and we'd be tickled to death to get an order in and send you something out and sign the copies of the book if you'd like. And like I said, we're at authorstevekravetz.com on any of the books. And if anybody's got a comment, they go on the site and leave a comment.
Wonderful. We will put we'll put your link and information on our website also. So when people come on, they can see that and be able to go and check out your other stuff. Hey, brother, show everybody the shirt that you're wearing.
This is one of the shirts. It's called the Brotherhood of Smoke. I've got another design, which is it's the Marijuana Man logo.
Right on.
The Brotherhood of Smoke is a dream of mine. If you think back, early man, all right, shared smoke. Our Native Americans shared smoke. Throughout societies, throughout the world, share smoke and whatnot. And the reason and the purpose is it was something that was so special that they wanted to share. I caught a portion of one of your programs the other day, and you were talking about hemp and such. It is, in my opinion, it is the fruit from the Garden of Eden. The Bible didn't say anything about the fruit being an apple. That's just some Christian guy that put two and two together and said it was an apple. My thinking is more likely this: what other plant, what other item has so much to offer that it can replace, it's almost to some extent, God?
Right. It can clothe you, house you, feed you, heal you, and enlighten you spiritually.
Absolutely. And feed you medically. And early man, they went after the seeds. That was the reason why they love the seeds, because it's 100% amino acids. It's pure protein. It's probably the most perfect food on the planet. And then making there was cannabis seeds or hemp seeds, the hemp seeds. It's the same situation. The oils and the needs and whatnot. By accident, man found the fibers, and from that point on, it was all downhill.
Yeah.
A little bit of it, and my God, the world changes before your eyes. And it is a constant fight, at least where I come from, to try to help and enlighten folks. The time will come when it'll be impossible not to have legalized nationwide, worldwide.
Right. Now, Texas is still a prohibition state like Indiana, isn't it?
Well, theoretically, it's illegal, but the legality is you can only have like 2% maximum THC. Only under certain medical conditions can a prescription be given, and you only have a couple of pharmacies that will provide that situation.
All right.
So,
Well, you see, go ahead, Steve.
so in practicality, it's pretty much not legal. Some cities have stepped up and said, if we catch you with a little bit of pot, we'll give you a ticket and not prosecute you. You got above a certain amount, that's a different story. But I grew up in the back in the day when a seed, a stem, put your ass,
Yeah, you find a seed, ashtray, come on.
Yeah.
Hell, a lot of people now don't even know what seeds are.
When back in the day, and that was back in 1966, started a campus in my second year on campus, a different campus, and went up to North Texas in Denton, and that first fall semester, hooked up with some guys, and before you know it, that was my new life. But those days, you could go on back to a little coffee shop and say your magic words, and for $5, you got a matchbox full of stems and seeds and a little bit of smoke. And if you could scrape together $8, the kid down the street had a baggie that was supposed to be an ounce for $8. And if you were willing to travel to Austin, you could buy an entire pound for $60.
Wow. The cheapest I think I ever bought a pound was $200. And that was back in the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah. But that was about the cheapest I ever got a pound. So,
well, yeah, I made a point, because it was such an easy business to have be get involved in and whatnot, not to get involved in that aspect of it, because it was too easy, and I was too susceptible. I never got anything done except smoke all day long and get fucked up all day long, and I had bigger plans.
Right. And and that's something else that we're trying to do, is we're trying to get rid of that stereotypical slacker stoner,
absolutely,
tag. We're showing that people that smoke can be extremely creative and it's extremely successful. It's not we're not
one of them guys that's operating and pushing around spaceships and shit. It's a big toker.
Right.
You have to be a big toker to dream up those kind of ideas.
Yes, he expanded his mind. Hey, now was the peyote experience yours, or not the peyote? Yeah.
I had one of those kind of experiences that one of the guys that I was hanging with was a musician out of New Jersey and whatnot, and North Texas was notorious for a band, guys that come out of the East and West Coast to learn the jazz scene, and we had a lot of great guys that play music up in Denton, and one of them had hooked up with some guy who had some mescaline, some buds, and we boiled them down and boiled them down and boiled them down, and then added some little sugar and added some Kool-Aid, and then after that it was Johnny come lately.
Yeah, right. Yep. Hang on to your hat, because it's going to be a wild ride.
Absolutely.
I'm familiar with 6th Street in Austin and all. I was stationed at Fort Hood up in Killeen.
Sure.
And we would cruise down to Austin all the time. So
yeah.
And that was the place to go.
Yeah, it still is. Austin. The funny thing about Austin, I was there this weekend. it's grown and it's grown and it's grown, but it's still got the taste of Austin. You know,
Oh,
it's
that's
still
good.
got a little bit of laid back taste and whatnot. As much as the big computer companies and all the high rollers and people spending big bucks on little houses want it to be a little more contemporized. There's still Austin is still the old Austin is still at the heart of the city.
Oh, that's great, man. Because man, why would anybody want to change Austin, man? That's just a beautiful town, man.
Well, the problem is, it's like San Francisco, Austin, New York. You know, they're places you want to be. Places people like to live there because of the culture, the people. They're interacting with people of all breeds and sections and backgrounds and varieties, and everybody's just kind of easy out and whatnot. But you know, times are hard because all those times are. I mean, all those places have gotten expensive to live in.
Yeah, it is. But it feels good to go back and step back into the heart of the old cities. And,
Absolutely.
and get a glimpse of kind of how it was at one time.
Absolutely. Some of those little old houses on the east side of Austin are still there, so little bungalows and things. And so yeah, there's a taste of old Austin still around.
Well, Steve, man, I tell you, I have absolutely loved having you on. I hope you consider coming back on another program.
Sure, be happy to.
Wonderful. Well, namaste, my friend. You are beautiful. You are doing a beautiful service. Uh, and every dog has a tail, or every rescue dog has a tail. Is that
The
correct?
tale of the tales. Every rescue dog has a story.
Tales of the tales. Every rescue dog has a story. And a marijuana man, diary of a dealer, and
And the Bastardo.
Boscardo. That was it. So I want to I want to make sure. Why don't you give everybody you're available on Amazon?
I'm
Uh,
available at Amazon and usually at a lot of the internet websites for books.
okay,
And my own website again, which is author Steve Kravetz. SteveKravitz.com.
authorstevekravitz.com. Like I said, I will get with everybody and make sure that we get that up on the website. So when people come in, they can check you out, and we'll get your bio, man. You're uh, loved the bio that
Thank you.
you sent. So yeah, we're going to put up some stuff because you are a truly interesting man. You've got a lot to say. You've got a good sense of humor. I'm digging it. You're beautiful, and I can't wait to get you back on, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome. And we'll get back to Master Rochi and the free range cuckoo, Caitlin. And welcome back, man. Steve is a beautiful person. I'll tell you, talk about beautiful Desi and Cody. Man, they have a vibe to them. What do you think of them? Did you dig them? Quality.
Top notch.
Top notch. I see you changed again. You didn't find that new look appealing, or
The glasses are giving me a little bit of a headache.
ah,
I don't tolerate headaches very well.
right. I only tolerate them for about an hour a week on Thursday nights. But other than that, no headaches. Very interesting. But yeah, I want to give a shout out also to Brian at Stereo Bus Productions. Thank you. You are always sending us some good artists, and really digging the vibe you're putting out there. Uh, they only put out artists that have that positive vibe and kind of message, and everybody you sent us so far has been fantastic.
Right?
Had good time. And, you know, I always like to mention throughout the shows that we are, you know, pro cannabis, but we also want everybody to be safe and responsible and educated. So if you do start a CBD regimen or a cannabis regimen for medical, please get a hold of a cannabis professional and let them guide you on the types of oils and stuff that you need, because responsible use is important.
Yes, especially if you're on any type of prescription medications, because
Right, we know full plant medicine and different herbal blends, some of which we're going to be bringing out, can really benefit you and help you get away from some of the crap that big pharma is feeding you.
yeah.
So, but we got to get it legalized first, and you know, get a hold of your senator, congressman, everybody, and tell them, you know, enough's enough. We're done with the incarcerations. We're done with running communities. We're ready to have the businesses start up. What in the hell is wrong with you tonight?
I was just blowing the vapor out of the air. There was a lot. I had to blow it away. Like I blow you away.
Again, free range cuckoo. Only let her in the house once a week. However, we do have.
I've been here twice this week.
I know.
Twice. Mom can verify.
You forgot to use it. Anyway.
She came and hung out with Mom this week.
But you want to check out Master Rochi's Garden at masterrochigarden.com. We have all kinds of stuff on our website, and this is also something that we have. It is our metal grinder, and this is a multiple piece with your Keith screen, and it even comes with a scraper. So check this out when you're on our website. And don't forget to check out our tinctures and beard oils.
T-shirts and frisbees.
Oh yeah, our original rolling trays. Yes, Master Rochi's Garden original rolling tray. Back in the day, anybody's house you went to that was cool, you'd be hanging out and they'd reach under the couch and pull out their frisbee. And everybody used frisbees back in the day, and album covers, but frisbees are the best because you guys don't know how good you have it with the cannabis out today. Back when I was there, you had to clean out all your seeds, all your stems, and then try to figure out what you got left. So that was perfect for a frisbee because you could work all the seeds out and they'd roll down and catch. And so check out our original rolling trays. You're going to dig them. We have them in two colors. We have them in orange and blue. And yes, I'm a poor host because I should have one or two around here. Well, I do, but it's full of crap. So anyway, check out our garden. And remember, we are on YouTube now, and you can catch the reposts of the show at 9 o'clock on Friday. So be sure to check out our YouTube channel, and we're going to be putting up some different stuff on it also. And we're going to be starting our Spotify here in the next week or so. So be sure to check out our Spotify also. But Amazon, Mr. CBD of Chicago, Mark Kunicki. And he will be a guest on our show coming up shortly. We just kind of got to connect. Mark is a fantastic guy. He is super interesting. It's going to be a cool interview, and we're working together. So look out, world. Mr. CBD and Master Rochi are going to join up and hopefully do a lot of good for a lot of people. Now, I have a question for you.
What?
Caitlin, the talent. How did we come about the tag the talent.
That's just what I started calling myself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, what is your talent?
I've got a few.
Would you like to explain?
I can touch my nose with my tongue. That's one of them.
Really?
Yeah. Can you do that?
I've never really tried.
Try.
I don't think
Try!
No, I'm not
Try!
going to try. Congratulations.
Try!
Now you know
Try!
why she is, Caitlin. The talent.
Why don't you just try it? Can you not do it? Are you scared? It's because you're scared.
It's that, I just...
Just try it.
No. I am not in an agreeable mood tonight.
What? How will you know if you can never do it if you don't try?
There's some things I will try. Many things I'll try, and there's a few things that I won't try.
Gotta try everything at least once.
But that's one thing on the list. I can agree.
Yeah.
I can so
Yeah, I will put that at the bottom of the
bottom.
list.
And like I can also
When I run out of absolutely everything else on the list, I'll be ready to try it.
Then you'll be ready.
I can touch my wrist with my thumb.
I would have kind of laughed a little bit if I just heard
I can,
just a little bit.
I've been able to do it since I was young.
Again, parents out there, this is the result of children playing with trash bags. So
I can
heed the warnings,
I can
or
put my foot behind my head.
you will wind up with something like.
Can you put
this.
your foot behind your head?
I used to.
You tried
No,
that?
not anymore.
I
I'm
think
not
it's
that.
asking
I am
for
not
too
that
much.
flexible any longer.
Maybe not in this shirt. Maybe not in this shirt.
No, this is a family-rated show.
This shirt's too restrictive.
Family-rated show.
I'm not doing anything inappropriate.
We don't want your clothing to.
This shirt is very restrictive. It's not helping me any.
Now you get a glimpse into my life. Yes, and there's another one running around too.
And I only
So-
She's
experienced
watching.
a portion.
The other one is watching.
Yes, and the other one. Hello, Jamie. Thank you for tuning in. Anyway,
How was your week? You asked me how my week was. You never told me how your week was.
my week has gone very well. In fact, tomorrow will end my week, and also in my time with my current employer. So I am quite happy to be making a move. It will be extremely beneficial. So I've had a very good week, and I'm going to have even a better week next week.
I gotta drive to Edinburgh tomorrow.
Edinburgh, that's right. You are participating, or Luke is participating in the state horse competition.
Yeah, the NBHA state show.
What does that stand for?
National Barrel Horse Association.
Okay, because you said NBA and I thought basketball.
NBHA.
Okay, sounded like
Him and his mother both barrel race.
I didn't hear the
Well,
H.
we wish Luke the best of luck in his races over the next few days.
And Amy.
And Amy,
I'm just a spectator.
yes, you are definitely just a spectator.
Moral support.
I don't even know about that.
I support the morale. My presence was specifically demanded for this event.
Boy, I'm sorry.
They asked for the talent
For
by
them.
name.
Scary.
Boy, they're lucky.
So
Truly lucky. Well, I tell you what, I think that wraps everything up. Unless you have,
You guys didn't talk about anything like.
Oh no, do you
productive
have any fun
tonight.
facts?
well, not really, because actually we just kind of were rolling with it tonight. We had that great interview with Steve.
It was a
and,
good interview.
I tell you, I'm really digging his book. You guys got to check it out. It's a great read. And Desi and Cody, sometimes it's just fun to not think too much. And I thought the show was good, and I thought we'd just chit chat a little bit. And she's the one that doesn't medicate. Honestly, this is all just her. So, would you like to say goodnight, Kate?
No, I don't think I'm ready yet.
All right. I will say goodnight, Kate. The talent.
I'm not ready. Therefore, you're not ready.
Well, what do you wish to share?
So when octopuses mate, male octopuses have a tentacle that's specifically designated as their reproductive tentacle. And when they mate, the male octopus just drops its reproductive tentacle by the female octopus and then runs away.
And with that, and as always, peace, love, and good vibes. Good night, everybody. Have a safe weekend.
Friends.